Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into a filing that might seem as thrilling as watching paint dry. But trust me, there's some interesting stuff hidden beneath the surface. We're looking at an 8K report from Campbell Fund Trust. Now before your eyes glaze over, this isn't about soup, this is about a fund that's been selling some equity, and that's something we should keep an eye on. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, so come join the fun. First things first, this is a Form 8K, which is basically a corporate alert. Companies use these to tell the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, about big events that could matter to investors. This particular 8K was filed on May 6, 2025, but it's reporting something that happened earlier, on April 30, 2025. Okay, so what exactly happened on April 30? Well, Campbell Fund Trust sold some of its equity. They're calling them units of beneficial interest. But think of them like shares in a company. These weren't sold through a public offering like when a company goes on the stock market. Instead, they sold them privately to existing and new investors. Now, this is where the numbers come in and they give us a little more insight. On April 30, 2025, the fund sold units for a total of $14,971,000 in cash for Series A, $2,872,676.76 million. The document was signed by Thomas P. Lloyd, General Counsel and Chief Compliance Officer of Campbell Fund Trust. This is the person who is legally responsible for making sure the information in the report is accurate. So what does all this mean? Well, the fund decided not to register the offering with the SEC, relying on something called Section 4.2 of the Securities Act of 1933. This section allows companies to skip the registration process if they're only selling to a limited number of sophisticated investors. The idea is that these investors can fend for themselves and don't need all the protections that come with a public offering. The keywords used here are not constituting a public offering. Now let's get to my take on it. First of all, it's not clear from this short 8K what they plan to do with the fresh influx of capital. Is this a sign that the fund is struggling and needs cash, or is it a sign that they see opportunities and are raising money to invest? Without more information, it's hard to say. One thing that does stand out is the fact that they chose to raise money privately, rather than through a public offering. This suggests that they may not have wanted to go through the expense and scrutiny of a public offering. It is also possible that their potential investors had some questions about the strategy that they didn't want the general public to know about. What is Campbell Fund Trust's strength? The fund has a long track record of generating strong returns. It has a team of experienced investment professionals. The fund also invests in a diversified portfolio of assets. What are the weaknesses of Campbell Fund Trust? The fund is relatively small, which makes it difficult to invest in certain asset classes. It is also concentrated in a small number of investors. The fund's investment strategy is complex, which makes it difficult for investors to understand. What are the opportunities for Campbell Fund Trust? The fund could grow its assets under management by attracting new investors. Campbell could expand its investment strategy into new asset classes. The fund could also improve its cost efficiency. What are the threats to Campbell Fund Trust? The fund could experience losses if its investments perform poorly. The fund could also lose investors if they are not satisfied with its performance. The fund could also be subject to increased regulation. What's your take on Campbell Fund Trust's fundraising round? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.